Hi and welcome, I'm Ruth. I'm going to give you a little tour of my craft room. I've recently had a bit of a revamp, so I thought I'd give you a bit of a behind the scenes tour. So I don't have the greatest amount of space. I've shared this room as a study with it has all our bookcases and computer in, but let me start by showing you over here. In this corner I have a bookcase unit. It's a slimline Billy bookcase from IKEA. So first of all, at the top here, this is where I keep all my finished cards. They're all organised by theme, just in a couple of shoeboxes. Then here we go with the craft supplies. So I have cardstock, lots of white in this folder. And this is all complete sheets of various colours. Then in these folders I have organised by colour. That's basically sheets that I've cut into, or they're smaller pieces, so they're handy for layering and stuff, themed by colour. Then coming down into this shelf here is basically where I have my pattern paper, or the pads, which is what I use most of. The 6x6 pads are all organised by the manufacturer. It's actually in alphabetical order, so I can just go to quickly. And then there's slightly larger ones, including the 8x8s by October Afternoon in there. Then there's a little bit of pattern paper, larger sizes. It's not where I keep most of my 12x12 storage. I'll show you the rest later, but what I do have here is collection packs of basic grey. I have just a few of those to keep them all together. So the stamp storage begins. And first of all, there's these two little drawer cubbies. First of all, this side is for inks. So in the top drawer there, that's all my distress inks and the blending tools and things. Then this drawer is where I have my coloured inks that I use, and Versamark and things like that. I use these little Versacolour. And then this drawer at the bottom is for other colours and more stays on. And stacked up just on top of that is where I keep my Stampin' Up stamps. So they just... And then there's a couple of other things. I've got a couple of big background stamps from Hero Arts, and then some other larger things that don't really fit in drawers. And then I've got my clear acrylic blocks kept in there, different sizes, of the wood-mounted stamps in these drawers. And then that continues down onto this shelf, where there's some more alphabet sets, but also more drawers in this other unit here, and they're kind of double stacked in layers. Also on this shelf there's a few more of the plastic wallet folders that I use to keep more pattern paper in. They're themed by colour, and they just keep smaller sheets and odds and ends, maybe things that I've printed out from Digi. They're organised by colour theme. At the very bottom shelf there, I've got a lot of reference books that I don't really access very often. So there's a few craft books that maybe I use less than. In front here, it's kind of not the best situation really, because I still have to have these things stacked on the floor, and maybe I'm looking to resolve that. There's just a couple of wallets here. This just has got lots of accent stickers, so not alphabets. And this one is borders and offcuts, things that are maybe punched or trimmed off of cards. And this is where the Cuttlebug lives. One of the most exciting things that I really love about my organisation system is this arrangement here, which I have for my embellishments. And let me show you this one here, which I organised into these. They're kind of like plastic fishing tackle type boxes. And I ordered these off an eBay store. These little dividers come separately. You can buy extra dividers. And the great thing is that these segments you can then customise to make different sizes. And I figure since I designed my cards by colour, I wanted to divide all my embellishments by colour. So rather than having to sort through a great big jar of buttons just to find the right green button that I wanted, I just would sort all the green buttons out separately. And likewise for all these other kinds of embellishments, for like flowers and all kinds of bits and bobs and brads and things. So they're all kind of organised like that. And as you can see, I've got all different colours in those, and plenty of room to expand the collection too. So I just love that. So let me show you this. I mentioned that as far as stickers, I don't keep my alphabet stickers along with my accent stickers, because alphabets I use much more, and I use obviously in a different way when I'm scrapbooking and things. So they are kept separately. They're just kind of stacked up in here. It's one of these plastic containers by the Really Useful company. They all live in there. And this here is just a shoebox, which is keeping a load of rubber stamps at the moment. This storage system is actually a bit of a work in progress for me, because until very recently I had all my rubber stamps in here, but the trouble is there were loads more and they were overflowing, and I couldn't ever find the stamps that I wanted, and it was just a real nightmare. So I've come up with a solution that so far is working out really well. It's still a work in progress, but I'm really looking forward to getting this completed. And that is, see here I have a CD tower. I took inspiration from how Paper Tray Ink until recently supplied their stamps with a CD case. I'm just pulling out here. And what I'm in the process of doing is transferring all my clear stamps into blank CD cases and sticking the label sheet on the outside. Just a little bit of juggling and jiggling to just to get the arrangement to fit, but pretty much one pack of stamps will fit into a case. So I'm working my way through getting all my stamps transferred into this system, and then I'm going to get them all labelled up neatly by manufacturer and things, and I'll be able to find exactly what I want all the time. So there's lots of space to expand this collection and fill up my CD tower. The other thing that lives over here, I have a couple of things hooked onto the top of the CD tower, just looped over a ribbon. There's my washi tape oiled onto a ribbon there, and that hooks on. And also here are card bobbins that I made, that I wrapped all my twine colours around, and they're just clipped onto a ring. Okay, so let me show you now the desk area. Let me back up here and show you. There we go. So it's kind of a shame that I have to use so much of the desk space actually as storage, but I'm really tight for space in this area, so I have to use a lot of it. So first of all, I have a couple of open top kind of tray style boxes, and it means that I can keep my scraps close to hand. This one's scraps of pattern paper. This is scraps of cardstock. So otherwise I try and keep lots of this area clean and uncluttered for actually working, except for the absolute essentials like my adhesives and go-to inks. They stay there. So back here, apart from the little tub of bling, gems and things like that, I've got this tub at the back that's got my fine liner pens for doodling, and also a few card blanks scored and folded ready. And here is my collection of a few ephemera packs, still kept organised by their manufacturer according to the different collections, and they all live in there. This is some more of these little tubs from Really Useful company, different, come in every size you can imagine and more. So these little ones are handy for the desk. That's kind of tags and journaling spots, which I use lots of. Here's another one that's got my glitters, stickles, and glossy accents. That one at the back there, tools and adhesives, my decorative scissors, and pens. Just a row of little cute pots. I picked these up actually in a supermarket, and they just keep little odds and ends, so ribbon scraps and ready cut and ready stamped greetings, things like that, that are really ready to go, odds and ends. That's another tub, one of those tubs on there, and I keep a few images ready stamped, maybe things ready to colour or If I fancy just doing a bit of colouring, then things go in there and they can live ready to find a home on a card one day. Then back here, what I've got is basically all my ribbon and trim storage. I picked up a bunch of these jars in IKEA, these kind of larger ones and the same in a smaller size. And they all hold all my ribbons and things, each by colour. Again, it's what I said about I like to design my cards by colour, so I know what I'm looking for. And then my watercolour pencils are always close to hand for colouring images with their paintbrushes. And then other go-to bits and bobs like stamp cleaner and glue pen, stuff like that. So that's my desk space. Now let me show you, actually hiding underneath here, that's making a little bit extra use of that space. I've got another plastic crate storage. That's something I don't really need to access very often, some sewing supplies. But you can see that I've also got some 12 by 12 storage. There's a cropper hopper thing and more really useful things. That one's just a pizza box that actually has my Christmas papers and things in, so I keep those separately. So that's where my 12 by 12 stuff lives. Okay, so let me just back up here. First of all, I'll show you that's on the wall mounted there, taking advantage of that's a little bit of space is where my nestability and dies are. I previewed on the blog, I'll give you the link, how I made this system of decorating these frames and have magnetic strips in there so all my dies are easily mounted, even some more to go in. And my scrapbook store loyalty card, I always know where that is. Coming down here, this funny wooden thing that you see there, folded up, that's a new addition to the craft room for filming videos. I've made this with the help of my mum, a stand for my video camera when I'm filming craft videos. So you don't get to see that in action. I couldn't film my videos without it, so I'm really happy about having that. So then otherwise there's this little cubby unit which sits here, and it was from a household goods store in the UK which we have called Lakeland, and it's kind of little unit and it's got little wheels. Basically I've got lots more card blanks ready folded, ready to go with envelopes. Don't tend to buy very many ready-made card blanks. There are a few, but not so many. Then there's more cardstock under there, but also a few spools of ribbon that I have, not too many. I don't buy many spools, but they are just kind of strung along on a string here and I can just snip off what I need. And then down there, that's where the Cuttlebug plates live. Now, let me just back up here and I can show you, hanging over the door is one of these shoe storage unit things. Again, it's actually something I bought online, but it's got those see-through pockets that you can put all sorts of stuff in. And this is really handy, so I can see what I've got. Marker pens, acrylic paints, beads and things. There's felt stuffed in there. This is where a lot of my punches live. Bulky items like that. Really useful to keep in this. Glitter, these stacking tower thingies. My Cuttlebug embossing folders all racked up along there, and spare stamp cleaner, more punches, more blingy things and a few more spools of ribbon, and then chipboardy things in packs at the top there. So that's kind of basically everything. There are a few odds and ends which live in a bookcase behind me, like my embossing powders and heat gun and things, but generally that's where I craft. I hope you enjoyed my little tour. Thanks ever so much for watching. Bye now.